name is Kenneth William Bryant. I've been in the renovating game for 18 years. An investor for 15. I have done a total of 36 renovations. I take homes that look like this and turn them into this. Welcome to Catapulting Change. Yo, it's your boy KB with Catapulting Change. Listen, guys, I know it's Monday, and I know you had a nice break over the weekend, most of you. Even though I grind 7 days a week, I know that most of you probably had a little break, right? And I know it's Monday, and I know it's a little complicated. It's like, oh man, I'm not ready to go back to work, or I wish my weekend could be longer, or I wish I could be on a vacation right now. But nah, I'm here to tell you that, look, it's time to get back to work. It's time to start grinding. Stop playing with your life. Look, success is 7 days a week. It's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 7 days a week, guys. Every day of the week. There are no breaks. You get a break when you're done. And look, maybe some of you accept the fact that you have grown to a certain level, but for me, I got to keep climbing to the next level, right? In order to climb to that next level, I got to keep challenging myself. I got to keep pushing myself in ways that most people can't imagine, right? So if you really want to build that generational wealth, you got to be uncomfortable pretty much all the time, guys. There's no sometimes you're uncomfortable, sometimes you're comfortable. Nah. If you're growing, you're always uncomfortable. And the moment that you're uncomfortable is the moment that you're growing to the level that you must grow, guys. Look, it's very important to push yourself in ways that you could never imagine, right? You have to push yourself to get to that next level, because if you don't do that, then guess what? You're going to be stagnant. You're going to be stuck where you're at. So in order to build generational wealth, look, this is the thing, guys, and I tell all of y'all, there's many different ways that you can use in building generational wealth. It really boils down to what interests you. Most importantly, guys, look, you shouldn't be doing this if it doesn't interest you. You should not be an entrepreneur if it doesn't interest you. You should not be a doctor if it doesn't interest you. You should not be a lawyer if it doesn't interest you. You should not be a contractor if it doesn't interest you. Don't do things because you feel like that's the only thing you can do. You have to build your life by design, but it must be something that you enjoy. It must be something that you value. It must be something that you're passionate about, because at the moment that you're passionate about it is the moment that you can build something bigger than just you. It's the moment that you can start to invest in that next generation. Why? Because you're so passionate about it, you got to make sure that it succeeds no matter what. There will be nothing that comes in the way of this generational wealth, right? You would do whatever it takes to make it happen. But look, you got to figure out, what is it that interests you? Maybe you want to have a cupcake business. Maybe you want to have a real estate business. It does not matter, guys. Most importantly, do what interests you and go out there and make it happen. Build something that is bigger than you. Make sure that every generation after you is blessed. Why? Because you developed residual passive income from this business. So you create that cash flow, but then you take the cash flow that you're accumulating, and then with that cash flow, you reinvest it into something that makes you a better return, like real estate, or maybe assisted living, or maybe you want a restaurant, or maybe you want to rent out storages. Look, guys, there is so many different options out there that it's ridiculous, but you have to figure it out. And if you're not sure what to do, then I suggest you get back to the drawing board and start writing down your goals. So what I teach everybody is this. Once you write down 5 goals for you personally, 5 goals for your business, and 5 goals for your community, is the moment that you will start to build structure in your life so that you can build that generational wealth. See, look, if you want to create wealth for the next generation, you got to get to the stage where you're disciplined, where you're able to make it happen, where you're able to execute and create results. And from there, you continue to level up to the next level, right? You have to get to the point where you're structured. But if you don't create goals, and you don't create a plan, then guess what? It won't never happen. Why? Because you never even had a target to follow, or you never even had a avenue that you was going to pursue because you didn't take the time to think about it. It's very important to plan out all of it, guys. But most importantly, you got to get to the point where you believe it. If you don't believe it, nobody else is going to believe in you. So you got to get to the point where you believe it no matter what. It cannot be, I want to own a business, or I want to invest in a real estate, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a lawyer. No, you got to get to the point where you say, I will be a lawyer by June 20th of 2022. Now, I know June 20th of 2022 is not here right now, but that doesn't matter because why? You're actually going through the process of creating that plan of execution so you can go out there and make it happen so that you can focus on building that generational wealth. See, a lot of us are just stagnant, guys. You're doing the same thing every day, expecting a different result. And I'm here to tell you that nothing is going to change until you change, or until you do something different, or until you invest into something that's bigger than you. You know, you got to get to a point where you love what you do, but you also give back to what you do. See, one of my biggest goals is to teach and educate people, not just skills that will pay the bills, but show them how to become entrepreneurs. I understand that all of us have skills, and that's fine. That will pay the bills, right? But once you start thinking on a higher level and you take those skills and you're not just thinking about paying the bills, you think about creating that lifestyle that you desire, you can now start to live your life by design. What does that mean? Now, maybe when you first start out with your business, right, you might have to charge a cheap rate, but actually, after you get results and people love what you do, things can change. So sometimes you do it for hardly nothing, or maybe you get some type of benefit from it, but it's not what you really expected. But you made those sacrifices in order to gain that following, or gain those reviews, or gain that client that believed into you so that you can now do it on a larger scale. But you also have to level up as a person as well, because you can't keep doing it for nothing, right? A lot of times you build someone else's dreams, but you're not even focusing on building your dreams. But most importantly, it's not just about your dreams, it's your next generation after you, right? You want to make sure that whatever their goals are, whatever it is that they're pushing to do, that they can go ahead and execute with no excuses, period. For me, that's generational wealth. When you get to the level that every generation after you is going to have the ability to execute, because money is not the issue. Opportunity is not the issue. The only issue would be is making a decision. What is it that you really desire? What is it that you really want to do, etc. That's what's very important, guys, is getting to the point where you make a decision and you do it no matter what. You execute, you make it happen, no excuses. It doesn't matter what happens along the way, you end up doing it anyway. Why? Because the end goal is success. And with the end goal for success means that you have to execute, you have to make it happen. No excuses. Look, until we get to the point where we stop blaming everything around us or the people around us, and we start taking responsibility for our actions and our decisions, is the moment that we start to become successful, guys. It's very difficult to admit that I was wrong, or it's very difficult to admit that I could have done better, or it's very difficult to admit that I should change, right? But once you admit this and that you realize this, look, for me, I always look at staying teachable, right? No matter what, I'm going to be learning regardless. Why? Because the world is changing every day, with or without us. And because the world is changing every day, with or without us, we have to adapt to those environments that we get presented with, right? And sometimes people can't adapt, so they end up getting left behind in 2020 or 2019 or 2018. Why? Because they couldn't adapt to 2022 or they couldn't adapt to 2023. You have to always remain teachable. You have to always focus on growth and learning new things. Why? Because the world is changing each and every day. But as long as you stay focused, as long as you continue to make it happen no matter what, you will become successful. But again, guys, it has to be bigger than us. It has to be to the point that we do it no matter what. It's for the next 7 generations, not for the next generation, not for the next 2 generations, for the next 7 generations. We literally can prepare our families for greatness if we leave behind things that's not just about money, about planting the seed of understanding the importance of making the money, but making the money work for you so that you can create those businesses or those income producing properties that you desire. Look, guys, it's time to level up. It's time to stop playing with our lives. It's time to take this to a whole nother level. It's time to live our life by design. So, what does that mean? Live our life by design means that we're going to create our story. We're going to create our lives. We're going to make a decision on what interests us the most. We're going to make a decision on what we have to do next. Why? Because we're living our life by design, right? So, because we're living our life by design, means we dictate how we move from left to right or forward, backwards, etc. But don't get stagnant. Don't get lazy. Don't get complacent. Don't think that you're doing enough because you're not. You can always do better no matter what. The moment that you get to the point that you think that you're doing enough or that you can't do better is the moment that you cannot grow. Why? Because you've become comfortable. And when you become comfortable, that means that you cannot grow to the next level. You will become stagnant. You will get to the point where you think you know it all, you think that you cannot become better, etc. And you cannot get like that, guys. Always strive for greatness. Always strive to get additional education, learn new things, and experiment along the way, right? Because we're never going to be perfect, but we can always become better. And from there, we can focus on becoming the best version of us, but also planting the seed for the next generation so that the next generation become of value of service to the community. See, you don't want to be that burden to society. You want to be of value to the community so that you can make a difference in everyone's life around you. See, not only do you deserve happiness, but everyone around you deserve happiness. And when we get to the point where we say, I will, I must, and I can, is the moment that you believe in what you're doing. Repeat after me now. I will, I must, and I can. Say it one more time. I will, I must, and I can. Say it like you believe it. I will because I have to. I must because my family's dependent on me. I can because I said so. And I'm going to make it happen no matter what. We got to get to the point where we believe it 100%, guys, no matter what. Even if you fail, I'm here to tell you that you will fail at first. It's just part of the whole lesson that you need to learn. If you do not fail, how can you ever expect to succeed? It's not a perfect world. There's no way that you can succeed every single time and expect not to fail. You have to fail sometimes. Look, even if you're winning 80% of the time, it's okay if you're losing 20% of the time because that 20% of the time you're learning lessons that's necessary to become better so that you win even more next time. That's what it's all about, guys. And when you get to the point in your life where you operate from this ratio 80/20, it's the moment that your life will start to change because you have structure. That foundation is in order. And because that foundation is order, you can now go and execute 100%. Look, guys, it's been great talking to you this evening. I hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Tune in for Wake Up Wednesday. Wake Up Wednesday is going to be absolute fire. I promise you guys, it always is. Until next time, have a great rest of the evening. And remember, life is great. Don't be scared. Let's go.